Do you remember when I stated in a previous video how I'd show you who cares about America and who didn't? Okay, well, on this particular video, I want to change that. And I want to focus on New York because that's where I'm from. I want to focus on Mayor Ed Koch, whose term lasted, I believe, from 1978 to 1989. Now, there still may be some leftover Harlemites who harbor a little animosity, over the closing of, I think the name of the hospital was Sydenham Hospital. Okay, and the Sydenham Hospital, this was a place where black doctors could kind of bring in their own patients or whatever and treat their own constituents because, at that time, New York was racist and, white people didn't want to have black doctors. So, the black doctors were able to just bring in their own patients and treat them. And that was a shame that was closed. There was a lot of spending cuts that needed to take place, and that's why Mayor Koch opted to do that. But Mayor Koch did focus on the fact that he lacked sensitivity, and he apologized that he lacked sensitivity, and he showed remorse, for not regarding the psychological effects that it would, cause to the ADOS, to the black community, the closing of the Sydenham Hospital. Okay? But in the swap of Sydenham Hospital, we gained numerous educational programs. They had all type of programs, GED programs. If you were a young mom, you could take your baby with you. And there was a place, for your baby while you were getting educated. So there was like no excuses. You had no excuse. You could prosper. He also had a program called the City Volunteer Corps. Cycle 91, by the way, that's me. The City Volunteer Corps was a great program for inner city youth. It taught you how to provide service, and you only received the stipend. I think the stipend was like $185 every 2 weeks. And what it did is it took inner city youth and it paired them with the elderly. It placed us in schools, and it just taught us how to deal with community different, and better, and how to make our communities better. And that was a great thing. We did a lot of projects. We did a lot of good. We worked out in Staten Island, Fresh Kill Landfill. We painted a lot of benches, beautification projects around New York City. We helped the elderly working in nursing homes. That was one of my favorite tasks to have when we had to work in a nursing home, with the elderly. It helped us, whereas a lot of us, not myself, but a lot of us, who didn't have that connection with the elderly or respect for the elderly, it gave you that respect by having to work with them and, take care of their needs to a certain extent. Okay, so those were wonderful programs. And all of the liberals you see today, these liberal style that they're using right now, these are the same people who expect black Americans to turn their backs, or native New Yorkers to just turn their backs, turn their heads on undocumented illegal invaders. So, Mayor Koch, I wanted to focus on this because it's very near and dear to my heart. Mayor Koch really built New York. He built New York and gave it the reputation that it has to say. Nobody that it has today. Nobody wanted to touch New York. Nobody cared about New York. It looked war-torn. It was raggedy. It looked horrible. Nobody wanted to touch this place. But Koch, he got contractors, he got investors to come in and bring real change into New York City. And if you're a real New Yorker and you're in my age group, we had the commercials that they would sing, "I love New York." And you would see Mayor Koch come on television and little commercials, and he'd tell you, take a bite out of the apple. There was New York City merch everywhere. He really loved the city, or he saw the potential in the city. And he made mistakes. He wasn't a perfect man. Some people could say he was a bigot, fine, but through the work that he did, I'm looking at the programs that I myself was a part of, and other ADOS people in New York were a part of, and the liberals took all of that away. The same people that got you marching for climate change and the illegal immigrants need help, and these were the same people who swept the rug right from underneath black America. They could care less about what was going on with us. All the programs left the inner city. Every last one. They destroyed them all. The liberals. Okay? Now, I want to talk about the undocumented invaders. I want to talk about all 3 million of them here in New York. There's more than that, but 3 million, we'll say we got on record. Now, these people, they have access to service jobs like hotel jobs, fast food jobs, cleaning jobs. And these are not only jobs that ADOS can do. Like, I'm not just saying like only black people could do these jobs. Americans as a whole can do these jobs. But you will find that over the years in New York, if you've been applying for cleaning jobs, hotel jobs, you're not getting them. And the reason is why is because they hire undocumented workers. And that's why the wages in New York have been stagnant for so long. It's very hard to get raises and stuff in New York. Or these liberals telling you about $15 an hour. There are people who make more money than that, who should be advanced, who should be making more money than not. Because once you hire a whole bunch of undocumented people, they undercut the wage. They don't have to pay them the same wage that they would pay an American. They don't have to provide a lot of the benefits and things that they would have to provide to you as an American. So your wages are, stuck because they found another way to profit. And that's what's been going on for years and years and years now. So Mayor Koch was a person that really cared about New York. He really cared about New York. He did so many things for the city, and they wiped out everything that this mayor did. So if you're looking around, you live in New York, you wonder why, black people don't have a lot of opportunity and why they're not being, educated as much as they could be and having access to things. Well, that's why, because they got rid of all of that. So people like de Blasio and Governor Cuomo, these people like that have to go, because they don't care about the needs of native New Yorkers. They want to tell you about everything else. And we have not, in New York, we have never seen another mayor or governor like Mayor Koch. Never seen it. And that's why New York is in the state that it's in right now. Mayor Koch revamped this whole place. And look at the housing, everything that he did. Look at it today, how the liberals are sitting back, letting it waste. But they're telling you about undocumented people. This video isn't going to be too long, but I'm going to leave you with 2 quotes from Mayor Koch. And here's the first one. What about the millions of poor in this country who desperately need assistance and services to help bring them out of poverty? Shall they go to the back of the line? And those who have made a dramatic illegal entry, who would normally not be entitled to government assistance or even entry itself, be put in front. Like many others, I'm deeply sympathetic to the huge numbers of people looking to come here today to escape suffering and poverty in their own lands. But as a country, we cannot afford to have a total open door policy without any restrictions on entry. May he rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mayor Ed Koch.
The Board of Education spends almost $3 billion of our money, but we don't control how it's spent. All we know is that we graduate children from high school who read at the 8th grade level. We pay teachers $26,000 in salary and benefits to work 161 days a year. And the Board of Education wastes millions of dollars. The next mayor of New York must get control of the money spent in our school system, and he must set higher standards for our students and teachers. We pay the average police officer $30,000 a year in salary and benefits to protect us. But of 25,000 police in the city, only 1,500 patrol the streets on an average shift. More cops than that call in sick every day. Obviously, we need more police on the streets, and we can do it without spending more money, by better use of the police force we already have. That may mean taking on the police bureaucracy and the PBA, but that's what a mayor has to do. My record in Congress is strongly pro-labor, but our municipal unions consider me anti-union. They don't like the fact that I want city employees to live in the city, that I want educators to account to the mayor for schools that don't teach, and that I don't want patrolmen to get 2 days off with pay for donating a pint of blood. There's no point in getting angry at Al Shanker or Vic Gottbaum. They're doing the jobs they were elected to do. It's time we had a tough bargainer on our side of the table.